And we are back. 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 Huh. That's kind of okay. Anywho, um, welcome back, everybody. Whoever got stuck around here a little bit earlier. Dehydrated water. Yes, welcome back. Pigeon, pigeon. Welcome back. Welcome back. Actually, I stuffed myself with some dumplings in those 15-minute break, and it was fantastic, and I loved it. Thank you, Wayne, for making some food for me. Okay, thus far, I have not seen the KSBW news to come back on live, and we have not heard any presser that is coming in. Oh, hi, Hazzy. That's Bud. That's Bud right over here. Usually I have a. Oh my god, I got dog hair all over me right now. Usually I have a Hazcam, but I wasn't like extremely prepared to jump into this live. So if you are just jumping into here, oh, okay, I love it. So if you just jumping into here, Moss Landing, right? Moss Landing. Um, there's a ion battery storage got caught on fire, and you have a husky that's so cute. So there's this storage got caught on fire.
You should play.
Huh?
You should play.
It's right over there. I'm live. Well, I don't want to eat it now, but thank you. Look, he's so sweet. He brings me food. Yes, my husband's so sweet. He brings me food while I'm live streaming. Yay. Okay, so Moss Landing, structure fire. This is a structure fire, and the ion battery storage got caught on fire. So we've been for past 3 hours or so from a previous live stream. We've been live streaming just to see what's happening and see what's going on. The fire. There's evacuation orders. There's immediate evacuation orders, and the fire like went up and went down, went up and went down. But the dangers are actually of the plume. It is extremely, extremely dangerous. The plume. Let me get the little banner going because the evacuation orders are still standing as of so hydrogen fluoride, which is highly corrosive and can damage lung tissue upon inhalation. That is what in the air right now, and we are just keeping an eye on it. And if you are in the area, please, please, please get out or stay indoors if you're not under evacuation orders. Stay indoors, wear some respiratory protection thing. So yeah. Hey, all the pro. Nice, nice, nice. It seems strange that there's no press conference to address the public. That's what we've been waiting for. And I keep saying, like, where's the presser? Where's the presser? And for some reason, there's still no presser. I looked everywhere, as in those like 15-minute break that we had. I looked everywhere. And another thing is KSBW for some reason stopped. They just stopped covering it, and they're just kind of quiet. Quiet. Like, why are you so quiet about this? This is something people need to know, like, right now. Where's the press conference? Update to the public. Update to the public, because when you evacuating, you might want to know what is happening. Okay. KSBW, no, but it's still the same. Still the same. It's just a video. They just uploaded. They just uploaded the same videos. They uploaded some clips, and they literally just do some try to keep it hush. No, I doubt. I doubt. I think it's just they got a little bit overwhelmed really fast and seeing what's happening. But tonight, huh? Um, uh-huh. And another thing is Con 546, they're live stream alert, streaming at 10. Yeah, so live stream alert, newscast streamed online. Of course, there's a commercial. Of course, there's a commercial. I'm about to jump into that. Um, so after this little commercial break, and another thing is, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening with my internet because my internet is like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Now we're live. Now we're live. I'm gonna share this with you. Share screen.
North Monterey County Unified School
All right.
District.
There you go.
Those schools will be closed for tomorrow. That is Friday, and that is due to what's happening in Moss Landing, and officials there citing the health and safety of the students. That comes first as a top priority. So those schools will be closed for tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what happens as the fire continues. We're still waiting to hear some status on what we can expect over the next several days. But so far, we're still looking at those evacuation orders that remain in place, and also those road closures. Drones are being used currently right now to see what's happening over the fire. We even have Santa Cruz officials now commenting as well, and recommending residents to stay indoors, close the doors. You want to turn off your AC systems as well, wear masks, bring the pets inside. So this is affecting a lot of people outside of those that have been affected by the evacuation orders, which is close to 2,000 people that are being asked to leave their homes tonight.
And we are working on trying to get anyone on the phone. So we might have Andy on the phone. Andy,
this is a repeat.
Hi, yeah, good evening.
Andy, thanks for taking some time. Andy Rose with the
This
Sheriff's
is a
Office.
repeat,
What can you tell us? What's the very latest out there right now?
So we can
so let's
summarize
watch
what you've already been providing to the viewers tonight. About 3 o'clock this afternoon, the North Monterey County Fire Protection District was sent out to a report of a fire at the Vistra plant. When they arrived, they did locate a building on fire that does contain batteries. Some of those batteries were also confirmed to be on fire. At that point, they started monitoring. This is a very sensitive type of fire because of the batteries inside those buildings, and they started monitoring the fire, working closely with a person from Vistra to just make sure that everyone in the immediate area was safe. As the afternoon progressed, we know that the fire has grown. It has not been extinguished. And out of an abundance of precaution, evacuation orders have been issued by the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. What I can tell you at this point is the area of evacuation is about 7,676 acres. There are 1,214 people that are affected by the evacuation zones. These are people that live within the evacuation zones. Those evacuation zones can actually be found on the County of Monterey webpage, as the Monterey County Sheriff's webpage, and other sources that are out there. They have the various zones of people that are impacted by these evacuations. There's also a temporary evacuation point that's been set up at the Castroville Recreation Center. That has been transitioned to an overnight shelter that's being managed by.
Oh wow. Okay.
For anybody that's within
the connection is pretty unstable. Great.
Tonight, the American
What
Red
is
Cross
happening?
is helping us with that. I can tell you that
I
once
put
these
lithium batteries with
started,
water.
The Monterey County Sheriff's Office took immediate action. We requested not only all of our available deputies to respond to the area, but we also requested mutual aid assistance from allied law enforcement county, and we did receive a tremendous amount of support. Over 25 uniformed personnel that have been going door to door within the evacuation areas to evacuate people from these areas. So we're very thankful, very grateful for their assistance in helping us to evacuate residents from these areas. And as of last check, we are at about 90 evacuations in those areas.
Is there any indication, have you been given any intel onto how long this fire could burn for and how long these orders could be in place for?
We
So we
experienced
don't.
technical
Anything related
difficulties.
to the
I'm
fire,
experiencing
our
technical
fire
difficulties.
personnel on
What is
scene are
going
working
on in
closely
here?
with Vistra to try to determine how long this may take and what
Yeah, it's
potential hazards are
Tesla
out there.
batteries.
As of right
It's
now,
not Tesla batteries, it's LG
we're not taking
batteries.
any chances on this. So these evacuations have been evacuation orders have been issued in the best interest of the public that are in those zones. We are continuing to work with Vistra, with the fire personnel, and if anything changes, if any dangers develop that require us to issue additional evacuations or more serious evacuations, we will take those actions immediately. I know that one of the other things that's coming up right now is people are concerned about schools in the area. We are currently,
It's LG.
we know that there
LG.
are
It's not,
meetings going on
not
with
Tesla.
school
Tesla
district
batteries are
personnel
stored in the same
those
facility,
areas
but
to
those
try
are
to make
LGs.
determinations on what they're going to do with reference to school for tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot of
beyond that,
people in
if it
evacuation
does in
zone,
fact persist
and
beyond the
one of
weekend
the
that's coming up. And
reasons.
one of the things that's helping is, of course, this is a holiday weekend, so students would not be
Yeah,
returning to
that's
classes
actually
until
a pretty
Tuesday
good
of next
idea
week.
if
But
you're like
there is a
kind of
possibility that schools may
or
put
like
out
very close
information
to the plant.
based on what is provided to them. It would be the school district's individual decision as to whether or not they're going to cancel classes tomorrow.
Is there any concern right now that there could be explosions in the area? You're dealing with batteries, obviously, a power plant here. Have you been given any updates that there could be any explosions in the area? And should people be concerned about that?
No, we have not been given anything of that, any information that talks about explosions, but we do know that the immediate area around the fire is completely evacuated. Nobody should be in that immediate area. As you know already, our original command post was much closer to the location of the Vistra plant than it currently is now. It was moved from the whole enchilada location in Moss Landing all the way back into the city of Castroville, the town of Castroville. So, people should not be in that area. The people that are still in areas that have not been evacuated at this point, we would encourage you to close your windows, turn off any air circulation systems that pull in outside air, just as an abundance precaution to make sure that you're safe in case something were to develop overnight. But for the people that are immediately impacted, those are the people in the evacuation zones, and we're working hard to get all of those people out of those areas.
And can you elaborate on that? What is the health risk? What can you tell the residents with the evacuations, with the schools being closed? What are we talking about regarding a health risk?
Well, we don't have anything. If we're talking about dangerous, hazardous chemicals, we don't have any information at this time with any, as it relates to any types of those threats. That's something that we're working closely with, and fire is working closely with Vistra. If there are any serious issues regarding quality, we're going to work together to try to determine what those issues are and issue warnings based on that information.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the presser.
There are people that are vulnerable,
press conference.
Elderly, people with breathing difficulties, breathing illnesses that are affected easily by smoke. And because of that, we would encourage these individuals, even if they're not in evacuation zones, if they do have a way to get out of that immediate area, make those arrangements. If you have family that's in that area, even if they're not in an evacuation zone, go take care of your loved ones, get them out of the area, get them to a safer place, just as a precaution in case something further were to develop.
So
I'm sorry. One of our viewers had a question too, Andy, about the evacuated homes in the area and looting concerns. Can you talk about what your deputies are doing out there to protect the homes that are evacuated?
So again, we have requested assistance from other agencies, but we have also deployed all of our available deputies to the area. And, we are on patrol in those areas. Additionally, we know that the Highway Patrol is out there. We have additional agencies that have come out to assist us. And, the warning is clear. We've heard about this happening in the Los Angeles area with the fires. And, we are aware that could potentially happen here. We are on high alert for that as well. So, if somebody has that thought crossing their mind, be aware that we are out there. We have air support as well. We have drones that are flying in the area, and we are heavily monitoring that area.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Be safe out there. We appreciate it. and we'll continue to update as the night goes on. Thank you, sir. Andy Ross, be safe, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. And again, you're looking live there as the flames continue to shoot out of the structure here, out of the Moss Landing power plant. We've been seeing it for a while now. I want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Dan Sionka to talk about the weather conditions around this fire right now. Dan, you've been monitoring it all evening long. What's going on?
Well, yeah, tonight we continue to see that plume. If we can head back to our Mount Toro camera, the plume of smoke is heading to the east from this particular fire,
Let's head into the
which would take it
now.
over areas
Wow,
of
look at that.
Prunedale and eventually Royal Oaks, maybe Aromas. And
Yeah, the
potentially as far as San Juan
looting.
Bautista.
Every time there's
It's maybe a little more
evacuation, there's always
east-northeast.
looting.
The actual wind flow at the surface, by the way, is from the east to the west. But most of this smoke is actually going to the east because it's being pushed upward due to the heat of the fire. Now, I will say, just a personal observation over the last couple of hours, the amount of smoke from this fire seems to be reducing to some extent.
It does.
Maybe some good news for folks out there. But, one thing to keep in mind also is that we don't have a lot of wind. So, when you have some wind to work with, that can take the smoke and move it away and disperse it. When there's not a lot of wind, it can get concentrated to some extent. So at nighttime, we typically see our inversions develop, and an inversion means that the air is really prevented from mixing with air above it just due to the temperature contrast. So, on your screen, you can see that the air, the smoke gets to a certain level and flattens out. So that means it's reaching the inversion and it's not going any higher than that, meaning that everything that's coming out of that fire is stuck in the lower levels, which, by the way, if you think about the Monterey Bay, is kind of surrounded by mountains. So right now, a lot of that smoke is probably trapped in the low levels around the Monterey Bay area tonight. And it is dispersing to some extent, but if you are very sensitive, and this includes places like Salinas and Watsonville, even who are not directly under that plume of smoke,
placed in a way
close
as well.
enough to it that some of that smoke may be mixing into the air here locally. So we don't know the toxicity of this smoke. We've been asking officials as much as we can. They haven't really had a great answer for us on that, just because maybe they don't know or don't have the equipment to test it. And based on our availability of air quality sensors in that area, haven't really seen anything that indicates that anything is really bad in that area. But with that said, some of those sensors may not be able to detect the specific types of smoke that come from a battery fire, right? Most air quality sensors are going to find wildfire smoke. They're tuned for ozone, pollution from like car exhaust, and particulate matter. So some of that may not be showing up. But with their smoke, obviously there's some particulate as well. You would assume that if there was a lot concentrated in the low levels near some of these monitoring sites, we would see some indication of that. And perhaps there has been some of the weather or the air quality observation sites have gone from good to moderate in near this area. So there is some potential, obviously, if you do have those sensitive lungs or breathing airways, you want to stay inside, close your windows and doors tonight. Don't go out for your late night run or whatever you want to do. Just
don't go for a late night run. But I wanted to show this video. This is where, when it just started, or not just started, but is already burning, obviously. But this is nuts. As at the very beginning stages. Look at that hazardous smoke going out into the atmosphere. Yum. Oh, that is terrible. Well, it looks like for sure. So that's pretty crazy. Anyways, there's some photos of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, of course, and that's why we're here. We're here to really just kind of cover it and to see what is happening. I'm looking. No, they just so the news is just covering right now the evacuation areas. So look at this. That's nuts. If you in the area, Yeah, so if you're in the area, and just stay safe, use the respiratory protection caution, and just stay safe. The fire seems like it's not going to spread, but you never know. You never know. It might keep burning and everything. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, Billy, wait. Oh my God. Okay. Billy, I'm sorry. I didn't realize who you were. Hey, it's good to see you here. We still need to talk because I would love to have like interview you about certain things and everything. Yeah. Um yeah, I'll hit you up tomorrow, okay? I'll hit you up tomorrow. I'm gonna make a note of it and stuff. Thor Loft is back. Mike Wolf is back. Whoop whoop. Yeah, so Billy, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. But please go and subscribe to Four State News and Weather. So he's got a pretty good channel. Hey, can you drop your channel to my Discord really fast so I can share it here in the comments because your channel is pretty amazing. And we're kind of in the same realm of covering some footage and stuff too, but let me let's see what life is playing. Let's share this tab. Yep.
30
There
now,
we go.
and it's
Yeah,
still
drop
cooking,
drop
and
in
we still got
Discord
those
so I'll share it
evacuation
with
orders in
the
place.
crew.
So very concerning situation for the folks who live in that area, the businesses in that area, and really anyone that could be impacted by the smoke that's going up into the air, that toxic smoke that's going up to the air, and that's why we have the school closures, the road closures,
and it's still
and
a
the
question
evacuation
as
orders.
far as what that is and what we're dealing with. A lot of officials couldn't really respond to that yet, so still a lot to be known about this, a lot of questions out there. At least we did get some officials to speak tonight, so luckily we did get that.
We did, and the county giving us the information they could, the sheriff's office giving us the information they could. We do know that, again, 90% of the evacuations, at least now 90% of the evacuations have been conducted and are complete. Close to 1,200 people are under that evacuation order right now. We've been updating you on that. If you are in one of those areas, you really need to take this seriously. And give we'll go to the timeline again, because I think, when we were up here at 5:30 is when it really started going, Lisa. At the top of the 5 o'clock, we saw just a little bit of smoke. 5:30, we really started to see the flames shooting out, and that's when we started understanding the gravity of the situation here, the totality of what we were dealing with, and we stuck with it. Yeah, we saw that black smoke, right, and then it really erupted after that and didn't stop.
And that's when we had Supervisor Glenn Church come on, and he spoke about this is really didn't anticipate this. It is a big fire. It's out of control, and we definitely are concerned and have questions. And you could tell he was visibly upset. And he said on air, this is something that we're really going to have to look at as far as the company and what's happening at this storage place.
Yeah, and then Nick Pasculi with the county too, telling us that obviously right now their priority is life, human life, and protecting human life, and that's the top priority right now from the county and the sheriff's office, and the message out there, and making sure that the homes that are evacuated are protected. Deputies out there are going to be cruising all night long. We heard from the sheriff's office just a little while ago talking about that as well. I do think it's to talk about this, and we were talking about it in our last.
I love how they're like, to think about it, to talk about it, and we talk about it, to talk about it, and talk about it, to talk about it. Hey, so I dropped a link to Four State News and Weather. You guys go subscribe to him because he does cover pretty interesting stuff, and very, very basically we do the same realm. We do everything that we do in here, kind of covering some news and doing some dog walks and everything. So talk about it, to talk about it, to talk about it. Yes, it's kind of the newscasters always talking about it, but to talk about it, to talk about it. Oh my God, that's crazy. Hey, if you want to be my little co-host and little commentary in here for, for until we're trying to find something, I'll drop you a link to join this live if you would like. You don't have to be on camera either. That's totally fine. But it's gonna be up to you. Yeah, so he covers wrecks, fires, shootings, true crime, pursuits, and more, long storm chases, and more. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty much what we do on this channel too. Gotta stick with the community. Yeah, hold on, let me I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link to join. But feel free to be my little co-host, because Hazmat has been my little co-host lately. As always, right here. Hazi. Say hi to everybody. Hazi. Where's he? Oh. Yeah, he's like, yeah, leave me alone. Okay, let's see what else they're talking about it. Great.
And let's take the evacuation center. Do we have that live look actually right now?
We have firefighters.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Support this incident, and so it's a very complicated fire to fight, and it takes a lot of tactical effort in order to do it in a safe manner. And so I can't speak specifically on how they're fighting the fire itself, but I can assure you that there's a tremendous amount of resources here in order to do what they can to suppress this fire and to get people back to their homes as quickly as possible.
Definitely. That's something a lot of the people here that are evacuating have been talking about, how long they have to be evacuated. Is the center going to be open through the night?
Sure. We will stay open. We'll provide this type of resource as long as we have to. One of the most important things I can tell you is that we take evacuation orders very seriously here at the County of Monterey. We would not issue them if we weren't concerned about the safety of people in an area. And so I can tell you this, that we will leave the evacuation order in place until we are certain that it's safe for people to go home. We are not going to mess around with people's safety and their lives whatsoever.
For people here that are looking to evacuate, what resources can they get here?
So one of the great things about having an evacuation point is that it's a great place to be together, number one, and share, some time. They're all going through the same challenges. That's number one. So there's that support services. Also information. As we get information, we try to get it over to the temporary evacuation points as quickly as possible. And of course, if necessary, at some point we'll provide other refreshment, things like that for people.
Is there any resources you guys need, donations?
At this point, I don't know that we would need any donations at this point in time. However, the American Red Cross is here as well, and they are providing volunteer services as well as supporting the first responders out in the field. And so if people would like to make a donation to the Red Cross, we know that the Red Cross would certainly appreciate it, and we would appreciate their supporting them as well.
Thank you. Is there anything I didn't ask you wanted to touch on?
Yeah. So one of the things that we are emphasizing very much here in the County of Monterey is preparation. And we live in an area that's beautiful and picturesque, but you never know when there's going to be an incident or a disaster. And so we really want to encourage people to sign up for Alert Monterey County. And they can do that so easily, alertmontereycounty.org. They can get text notifications right to their phone and also to their email. That way they get the most accurate, timely, and transparent information available when an incident does arise.
I have a question too. Any word on what is on fire, what part of the facility is on fire? We've gotten kind of conflicting reports on that.
He's looking through his notes. Looking through the notes. Oh, and
you're watching Fox.
And they cut it off. Okay, so I did get a question really fast. Wait, hold on a second. What's going on in here? Breaking news. Oh, let's listen to this. I'll answer, Teresa. I'll answer your question later.
Moss Landing power plant still burning strong at this 10 o'clock hour. Here is a live look right now. That fire putting up smoke into the air, Lisa, and maybe just a fewer flames than we saw a few hours ago, but still burning pretty hot.
Still
at this
a
hour.
major fire, yes.
Yeah.
And we do have those evacuation orders in place. And we did have an official talk earlier and talked about how 90% of those evacuation orders have been fulfilled. They're still helping people leave their homes. And of course, that's in 7 zones around Moss Landing Power Plant. And this is all due to a fire at one of the buildings there where they store batteries. And the company is Vistra Energy, and they previously had a fire back in 2021 over batteries overheating. This by far is the largest fire that we have seen. Even officials saying that this is something that we'll have to really take into consideration, have questions for everybody involved.
Yeah, and we did have an update there about 15-20 minutes ago. If you were watching us on CBS, we had an update from Nick Pasculi with the County of Monterey telling us that 90% of the evacuations have been complete. We know that close to 1,200 people have been evacuated out of their homes. There is a shelter that has been set up. They are seeing people heading to said shelter right now. But again, looking at that, you see the smoke going up into the air from that fire. That fire still burning hot at this 10 o'clock hour. And we do have several reporters up there, and we're working to get some more live shots for you coming in from that area. And we do have somebody at the evacuation area as well as the fire itself. But the road closures in that area are pretty intense. We have
yes, Highway 1,
both directions shut down. As you take a live look there, you see the fire off in the distance. But let's go over the road closures.
Yeah, until further notice. Now we do have those evacuation orders. Those are for areas for Moss Landing south of the Elkhorn Slough, north of Malera Road and Monterey Dunes Way, and west of Castroville Boulevard and Elkhorn Road to the ocean. So this does include.
So the evacuation. They are right here in a little tinker. So anyways, and the evacuation point is Castroville Rec Center as of right now. So Teresa, you ask how come they cannot really talk about the fire response right now, or the fire itself really? None. Okay, so how they're fighting the fire. So you basically it's more of they can't particularly talk about it yet until they figure it out what like the way they can actually fight the fire, like what they have to fight, like what kind of they know what kind of fire it is. It's obviously ion batteries, right? But it's still fresh, it's still in the stages, and I'm sure they're figuring a lot of stuff out. And a lot of the with the batteries like that, they just literally just let it burn sometimes, like let it burn out. But I'm not getting any updates from the ground or anywhere else. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to put it out, and I cannot seem to find anything that's really getting some kind of effort of like fighting. But I know we have seen the hazmat trucks.
Highway 1 and folks are.
We have seen the hazmat trucks actually like arrive at the scene, and so we're just waiting. We're just really waiting, and I'm sure we're not gonna find anything out tonight. Really, it's gonna be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning they'll have it like 6 o'clock in the morning news and say like, "Oh, the presser just happened at midnight." I'm not sticking around here till midnight. And because it can't be determined until it is out, it's hard to talk about it when resources are hard to come by. Yeah, exactly. So it's really just because of the situation, the scope of the situation it is, and the resources that they have. Yeah. So with those things, like you just kind of have to let it burn out. The only thing that we're really worried about. So the only thing that we really worried about is the smoke. The smoke right here. It's toxic. Well, it's not like deadly toxic unless you like right there, right next to the fire, inhaling the smoke. It's just irritating. It can damage some lung tissue. It can be extremely irritating to your vocal passages and your nasal passages. So that it's another reason why they wanted to kind of evacuate. That will be my guess. That's my professional guess, as because of the the toxicity or the hazardous smoke those batteries are putting out, and there's still a possibility of an explosion because you never know particularly how the fire is operating or like burning within the building itself. You don't know where it's spreading to. You just kind of have to, just that's why they fly in drones to kind of see if they can get a closer look, evaluation, or I'm sure this fire is like really, really, really hot because it's very concentrated in one area. And another danger that they're really worried about is actually getting sparks. Like if there's a spark, the tree gets caught on fire, for example, like they're showing this tree, right? If something happens, there's a spark, there's a mini explosion, and the tree gets caught on fire. So they have to kind of mitigate it so it doesn't spread anywhere else. And yeah, there's evacuation orders in place. I haven't seen the fact that they're mandatory, but I would highly recommend to evacuate, not stay put, or at least remove yourself from the area and remove yourself from inhaling all of this
district.
Smoke.
Those schools will be closed for tomorrow. That is Friday, and that is due to what's happening in Moss Landing, and officials there citing the health and safety of the students. That comes first as a top priority.
Long-term
so those schools will be
respiratory
closed
efforts.
for tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what happens as the fire continues. We're still waiting to hear some status on what we can expect over the next several days. But so far, we're still looking at those evacuation orders that remain in place, and also those road closures. Drones are being used currently right now to see what's happening over the fire. We even have Santa Cruz officials now commenting as well and recommending residents to stay indoors, close the doors. You want to turn off your AC systems as well, wear masks, bring the pets inside. So this is affecting a lot of people outside of those that have been affected by the evacuation orders, which is close to 2,000 people that are being asked to leave their homes tonight.
And we are working on trying to get anyone on the phone. So we might have Andy on the phone. Andy, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, good evening.
Andy, thanks for taking some time. Andy Rose with the Sheriff's Office. What can you tell us? What's the very latest out there right now?
So we can summarize some of what you've already been providing to the viewers tonight. About 3 o'clock this afternoon, the North Monterey County Fire Protection District was sent out to a report of a fire at the Vistra plant. When they arrived, they did locate a building on fire that does contain batteries. Some of those batteries were also confirmed to be on fire. At that point, they started monitoring. This is a very sensitive type of fire because of the batteries inside those buildings, and they started monitoring the fire, working closely with personnel from Vistra.
So the winds right now they are wait, where's my they're south. Yeah, they're south winds. They're heading south, and they're not very strong. They're not very strong, which is it can be good, it can be bad. If there's a high wind, it will be beneficial for the smoke itself to dissipate if there's a high wind, because it just gets super not concentrated, right? And but also can spread the fire. So it's like good and bad and good kind of situation, give or take type of situation. But yeah, right now the winds are not too bad. But for some reason, every single live stream that I've been pulling up, they've been having some glitches, some technical difficulties. Even this Fox 35, like they throw up on a little screen, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. It's kind of funny. Alexander Company, Burlingame, California. Marvin Windows does not honor products warranty. Work perform and refuse refund. Yeah, let's see. And then winds will also fuel the fire and add clean air, which feeds the fire too. But also it will help with the smoke to kind of dissipate the smoke itself. So it's a very it's a touch tail rod. That's what it is. See, look, we currently experience technical difficulties. Please stand by. And then they're not the only station that actually been throwing up this message too. That's kind of interesting. Okay, let's listen to this again.
With Vistra to try to determine how long this may take and what potential hazards are out there. As of right now, we're not taking any chances on this. So these evacuation orders have been issued in the best interest of the public that are in those zones. We are continuing to work with Vistra, with the fire personnel, and if anything changes, if any dangers develop that require us to issue additional evacuations or more serious evacuations, we will take those actions immediately. I know that one of the other things that's coming up right now is people are concerned about schools in the area. We are currently
closed.
We know that there are meetings going on with school district personnel in those areas. To try to make determinations on what they're going to do with reference to school for tomorrow and beyond that, if it does in fact persist beyond the weekend that's coming up. And one of the things that's helping is, of course, this is a holiday weekend, so students would not be returning to classes until Tuesday of next
Santa
week.
Cruz
But there is a
County,
possibility that
San
schools
Lorenzo
may
Mountains,
put out information
not
based
particularly.
on what is provided to them. It would be
I
the
don't know
school
what's going
district's
on in there right now.
individual decision as to whether or not they're going to cancel classes tomorrow.
Is there any concern right now that there could be explosions in the area? You're dealing with batteries, obviously, a power plant here. Have you been given any updates that there could be any explosions in the area? That should be people be concerned about that?
Thank you.
No, we have not been given anything of that, any information that talks about explosions, but we do know that the immediate area around the fire is completely evacuated. Nobody should be in that immediate area. As you know already, our original command post was much closer to the location of the Vistra plant than it currently is now. It was moved from the whole enchilada location in Moss Landing all the way back into the city of Castroville, the town of Castroville. So, people should not be in that area. The people that are still in areas that have not been evacuated at this point, we would encourage you to close your windows, turn off any air circulation systems that pull in outside air, just as an abundance precaution to make sure that you're safe in case something were to develop overnight. But for the people that are immediately impacted, those are the people in the evacuation zones, and we're working hard to get all of those people out of those areas.
So curious, the fire suppression system fail was poorly designed or built. I probably it could be one of the factors that fire suppression system fails, but also we had this guy earlier. I wish he would have come back because he actually worked. He built he was part of this building this facility as well, and then he worked there for about 4 years, which is really, really interesting. He had a lot of input and how there's quite a few bit of failures. And then you can see kind of to track through history and stuff, you can see quite a bit of failures from 2021 fire to 22. And then I read a little report online. Okay, so anyways, I'm adding Billy to the stage and for state news and weather. He can provide us a little bit more input and his opinion too. So welcome. Do you have headphones? The headphones will
Can you guys
help
hear me all good?
Yeah, but the headphones will kind of help because
Can you hear me okay?
It a bit echoes, yeah.
Let me fix my audio real quick.
Yeah, no worries. If you had headphones, you can plug it in. They'll be the best.
I don't know. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, but it echoes. Through. All right.
yeah.
Cool. That was a.
There we go. I exited my phone now, so I should be no echoing. I don't think.
Nope. That's perfect.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you know what? Welcome,
Never done this
welcome.
before, so.
Wait, you've never done this before? You've never done like a live stream before?
I've streamed a couple like 45-second, 2-minute clips, and then I was actually heading to a dump truck that rolled, and I ended up ending it because I heard halfway there that the guy didn't make it, and I didn't want to show that on air before next of
Oh,
kin and stuff like that's been notified. So I ended the stream, and I was like, "Yep, exit out." So
oh,
I did.
that's terrible.
Yeah, it was a train hit a semi. I was heading to the dentist because I was supposed to have work on my teeth done, and the crash came out as I almost pull up to the dentist, and I was like, called my dentist, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to run late because I've got this semi or this dump truck that just got hit by a train." And he was like, "Do what?" I was like, I got to get to this call. I said, "It's a big wreck." And it was right next to the house, so it was like all within like 12 minutes from my house. It was wild.
That's pretty wild. But hey, you know what? Well, welcome to your very first live stream.
Yes, thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear your input about like what's actually happening out there.
I'll be honest, it's a power plant. I'm glad they're doing the evacuations. That's like the biggest thing with those big power plants is evacuating, the vicinity, because those things could go either way. They can flop in a minute. They can flop either or. As we've seen tonight, I don't know if you've seen the rockets. Did you see that rocket that Elon Musk?
Yeah. I was showing it earlier. On the stream. I'm gonna pull it up in a minute. But there's a question. So this is apparently the world's most extensive battery storage system. So it's the world's largest battery storage. Yeah. That's okay.
I know I would not want to be in that community. I'm a guy that would want to go out there and film it, but I would want to have a drone or something like that. I would not want to be in harm's way. And being downwind, I don't know if you watch that video, the downwind, how that wind is carrying that smoke. And if you watch how that smoke kind of levels out and it forms that filament, all that stuff below.
Well, it's so this smoke right here is basically the winds are higher at the higher elevation, and that's what I see, because the winds at the higher elevation, they're actually pushing the smoke down lower, so they're keeping within that bubble between us and the winds. But if we get a little bit of higher winds, I know it'll be bad for the fire, but it'll be really good for the smoke.
Yeah, if it can help, like you were saying earlier, how it can help it disperse and not be so collected. Because when it anvils out like that, that is oof. That's worst case scenario. Because like on your cooler nights around here in Missouri, I live here in Southwest Missouri, and on your cooler nights, you get these big commercial fires, you get these big fires that go on. Smoke only goes so high, and it's actually the cold air will keep that smoke down. And it's like, man, I've got a fully involved house, or I've got a fully involved barn, or whatever it may be. And I'm like, I'm 1 mile away. Why am I not seeing anything? And it's because that cooler air keeps it down and it flattens it. It's almost like storms. There's a capping inversion. With storms, the storms can go so high, and when they break that cap, that's when you have storms. But if they can't break that cap, they'll go up and then come back down, go back up, come back down. And that's a really good map, how that tracking that smoke and how it's being pushed out, and it levels it out almost like a canopy. It's like a canopy over the area.
And then you can see right here where the wind is actually really pushing it down, and like they were just like talking about it. And one thing is the smoke is very concentrated. It's very concentrated at this like source of fire, but the further it gets out, the more diluted it gets. So it doesn't cause extreme like burns or anything, but it will cause some irritation, like inhalation irritation. It might cause further on damage, because we still don't know if it's be able to like cause cancer at the end or anything else. But at the momentary it's inhalation hazards for sure. It will be irritant to your nasal passages, to your throat, vocal cords, lungs,
your eyes,
your mouth, any mucus, anywhere the mucus can cover. So that could be a hazard as well. So just keep precaution. Everybody's like, oh, put a mask on. Yes, put a mask on. It's at least it's something. But those regular N95 masks are not going to protect you from the chemical entrance, because chemical molecules are a lot smaller than biological molecules.
Yep.
And then so those N95s they're designed for biological entities. But if you have like a painter's mask, the painter's mask with like a little bit of filters, I would wear that around that area, or like actually be able to get this, because painter's mask with the tiny filters is designed for more of a smaller chemical molecules. That's why it's a painter's mask, right?
Yep.
So I would recommend to like wearing that.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I laugh at people, because for my hobby, I explore abandoned places and I photograph abandoned places. I love history and I love learning and growing.
Nice.
And I love exploring. But, so many people will wear those masks. And I tell people, I was like, those masks ain't really doing you any good. Because those little particles, like you were saying, they're microscopic and they get right through it just like that.
When it comes to chemical,
even when firefighters suit up with their SCBAs, they still get very little leakage. They still get some leakage through there. And everybody's like, oh, it's clean air. Yeah, you're breathing 99% clean air, but that 1%, it's still leaking through.
Yeah, you have to be like in a level A suit, right? Fully encompassed SCBA, and then the suit itself actually wearing an oxygen tank. So this is where you are very protected.
Yes, you can't have this. If you have any of this, you're gonna not have.
Yeah, there's no seal. There's gonna be 0 seal on your face.
Yep.
But I wish I could grow a beard too.
I'll cut it off and send it to you, and you can glue it on for the next stream.
Perfect. Yes, we'll share that. That's exactly what I need. Is like to glue. That'll be funny if I actually came on here with a beard, and I'll be like, "Yeah, what's up, guys?"
Everybody will be like, what happened?"
Yeah. So the only thing that will protect you is at least a level 3 gas mask. Yes, and so the gas masks will definitely protect you, but like I said, it's getting diluted. It is getting diluted the further it gets. So I would say it's no different than a house fire right now, or no different than LA fires, because all this like buildings burning and everything, and is sometimes we just have to try to protect our respiratory issues, but that's really it.
Has this thing had any explosions on it? Because I got in on your live late.
It had one. It wasn't like a really big, but you can tell there was like a little explosion at the very beginning, like when we just started streaming, because I'm going on my hour 4, actually keeping an eye on this.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and I like the big news stuff like this. If I was like paid better, I would totally go out and travel and document this stuff for people. I absolutely love being on scenes with a passion.
Same. I'm an emergency manager, and I was hazmat for a while. So
You were hazmat?
I was hazmat for a while.
We need to geek out on it, because I want to learn my hazmat stuff hardcore. I love hazmat.
Hey, so. I taught hazmat classes too, so that was pretty fun.
Nice. I know they just put out the new book. I got to grab the new one. I got one 4 years ago or 3 years ago, and it's super outdated already.
Yeah, your ERG.
Yes.
Yep. Emergency response guide. Yeah.
Yeah, I carry one of those in my pack when I go out on certain calls, especially semi-wrecks, semi-fires. So that way I can start looking, okay, this is good. That's why I don't like Walmart trucks, because they don't placard their trucks, because they're mixed with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so dangerous.
Hey Jeffrey, so I just read the place had a fire back in September 22. Yeah, so they had a fire in 21 and there's one in 22, or the small fire and there's a larger fire in 22. And so we just kind of like briefly talked over it on a previous live, and we had a guy in here that actually was like working in that plant and he had a lot of really good insights. So I kind of wish he would have come back so he can answer some of the questions about the facility.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to hear the inside information on it, like how large the facility is. Are you willing to bank on it? It's like it's definitely not like a house fire.
Yeah, it's not. I was just kind of saying it as a bit of a comparison because there are multiple houses that are burning, unfortunately, in LA. Well, they were
I've got a lot of
burning.
friends up there right now filming all that. That stuff is some of the most heartbreaking stuff I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's terrible. I can't. This is the most devastating fire the state of California has ever had.
And you know, they're saying it could be the deadliest this country's ever seen.
Yeah.
It's getting to be just horrible. And you know, that was a good question. This guy reminded me of it. Somebody was asking earlier, how come they don't just come out and talk to us? And the big thing with this is like they're worried, they're kind of drawing up a plan is what they're doing, and on how to attack this, how to do it, how to strategize, and not talking to the media, which that's totally okay. I totally agree with that, because if you go out there and you say something and then you go do this and you totally did something you did not even talk about what you just did on the air with thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of people watching, they're going to be like, what is this all about? So, you know, so you've got to be really careful on like talking to the press, because they're going to hold you to it. And they're going to be like, why didn't you do this? Like you said, you was going to do this and this and that. Transparency, you know, a lot of these guys are really transparent, but they're drawing up ideas on how this stuff is going to be solved, how they're going to get it put out.
Yeah, exactly. And so, well, another thing is that's what the PIOs are for, the public, like public affairs officers, right? Or the communications officers, whatever department you with. That's right. And when there's an active scene, right? You don't, plus there's going to be an investigation afterwards. There will be fire investigation, which is, I'm sure it's already starting the team put together. When there's an active scene, you don't want to hinder any like activity, right? Any life-saving activity. You don't want to put your guys in danger. So they're not worried about like putting information out to the public. They're worrying about like, how can we contain this scene right here, right? And that's why the information comes out at the later time. And another reason, like, when I heard about this fire, I just kind of like jump in because I wanted to like really help and push out as much information as we can find online and then talk about it, because I'm sure we'll have some more.
I really like the Batman's comment. He goes, these gases, once in the atmosphere, behave differently to smoke, often pulling at full floor level due to their density. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yes, you're right. You're right with that.
Yep. And people forget about like smoke versus
gas.
You know, gases versus liquids versus, I mean, it's all different types of densities, you know. People forget that. And that's one thing a lot of people want to, and that's a good idea too. Laura's coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, there's always lawsuits with anything you do.
Oh yeah. That's going to be a huge lawsuit.
I just think it's super weird how it's a Tesla place, and then we had the Elon Musk rocket explosion today. That's just so wild.
I know. Well, that's the interesting part is like the Tesla site is not on fire. It's LG batteries that are on fire.
The other side, yep.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's favorite commercial break. Does that mean I can take a nap for 2 minutes?
The commercial break. Yay.
Man, I look rough. Sorry, I've been pretty busy today.
Oh no, you're totally fine. You know what? Right before all of this happened, I actually was just relaxing on the couch and I had my friend text me. She's like, "What do I do? I'm in the area. I don't know what to do." I was like, "You know what? Let me jump on here and then see what we can figure out for the people to do."
Yeah, my biggest thing is don't be downwind. That's one of the big things.
Yeah, don't be this direction.
Yeah, don't. I mean, look how that smoke is leveling out.
Oh God,
it's really starting to level out, and right there and underneath, that's really you got to watch. Because it is kind of, if you notice, there's kind of that little bowl look to it. It's being pushed, like we talked about the density level is being pushed down. So
I'm trying to.
But yeah, Rob, to answer your question about lawyers, man, they threaten to sue you forever. Dude, I've been out on photos where people have wrecked cars because they were drunk and rolled and flipped, and they've killed people. And the person that survived it was drunk and impaired. And they was like, "I'm suing you for taking photos of my arrest." And I'm like, guys, that can't happen. My Constitution protects freedom of the press. So, yeah, I've seen that, Rob. There's quite a few. Did you guys see they arrested, what was it, 8 people, like 7 looters?
Hey,
and
hold on a second. I don't understand why, but I closed out all my tabs and everything, but it's just kind of keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's part of going live. You get to deal with the technical difficulties. All right, sorry, go ahead. I think we're back online.
About the lawsuits and the liabilities. Yeah, the liabilities and this conspiracies. Oh, it's already started, Mike.
Yeah, the conspiracy. Oh, I'm sure the conspiracy theories are going to be surrounded this battery, the largest storage, ion battery storage in the world gets caught on fire. Ooh, conspiracy theory. We're sending smoke. We're sending hazmat smoke signals to aliens.
Oh, I was documenting a house fire one night. Massive blaze. I took some video, threw it out on my Facebook page and said, "Hey guys, here's a fire that I'm documenting." One of the comments was that exact same thing. There's a conspiracy theory with that because there's people out there, there's something that's going to happen with this. And I'm like, you're not making any sense to me. And I was like, what are you trying to say? Well, we're kind of trying to communicate with the aliens. I said, I'm sorry, but that is not what this house fire was about.
Yeah. I'm looking at EQY right now. I'm looking at this map and it's not showing. I honestly don't think the sensors that they have set up around here, because they're a lot of the sensors are basically trained for detect any kind of like chemicals or smoke, like fire smoke and everything. These guys are not really detecting anything. I haven't particularly seen like I don't know. Like I've seen nothing. I've literally seen nothing.
It could be the sensors are down. We had an incident at the beginning of last year, or I guess it'd be close to the middle of the year, but it was a big, you're talking 30,000 tires on fire. Biggest fire. We had everybody in the county besides one fire department. That one fire department was covering everybody else's calls. And one of the largest I've ever seen. And that is one thing about it was as soon as they got on scene, they addressed the size up. They started attacking it. 30 minutes into it, they started going in and said, "Hey, go ahead and start getting EPA and the DNR out here, Department of Natural Resources and the EPA."
Right.
And they immediately had to come in from 3, 4, 5 hours away and made it on scene. But they fought the fire 1 week to the day it happened.
Hey, don't you know they're trying to kill the lizard people on the moon with toxic gases? Is there any helicopter coverage or is it too late? I haven't seen any helicopter coverage. That's surprising. There's only like a couple news stations that really live about it. Like, well, I'm kind of like watching this Fox News right now, oh, you know what? It's
That's
11. Wait, hold on. I think KSBW might have a live stream right now because they stopped live streaming too. So KSBW, oh, okay, so they are live. I'm gonna stream this one.
In Castroville, just before taking the turn on Highway 1, which was completely closed off. Around 7:30 or so, multiple agencies started pooling into Hartnell College's Castroville site, which is the command center for the entirety of this fire. And for the time being, this will also be the County of Monterey's Emergency Operations Center, which will be fully staffed with responding agencies and department personnel. And we do have some updated number on evacuations. The Monterey County Sheriff's Department telling us that 98%, and this is as of 10 o'clock, that 98% of the estimated 1,500 people impacted by this fire have been evacuated.
Wow, that's impressive.
To keep
Very impressive, yeah.
Reporting from Castroville, I'm Jake Flores, KSPW, Action News 8.
All right, Jake, thank you.
With us on the phone right now, Commander Andres Rosas of the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. Commander, tell us where we are now.
So what I can confirm at this time is that the evacuations in the zones that were announced earlier tonight have been completed. Monterey County Sheriff's deputies, along with assistance from a lot of different allied agencies in the county, were able to complete those evacuations safely.
So that's the good news. They are meeting at the command center, have been all night. You've got a lot of your team there. I would assume you're standing by to see if you need to do more or less or what have you.
Well, we've got actually the incident command post, of course, related to the scene, and the Monterey County Emergency Operations Center has also been activated. So you have a lot more resources than is just at the scene that are working on this incident around the clock.
And Commander, we're looking at some live pictures, and it does appear that the fire is, I don't know.
The situation is improving.
The situation is improving. Is that what you're hearing?
That's good.
So I can tell you, just before I got on the air with you, I was able to get a briefing from the incident commander at the scene. So fire has given us a little bit more information.
Old footage. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Based
Yeah.
on
I will say, though, from experience with being around like electronic vehicles and battery powered vehicles, I will say this from experience with that.
Batteries have caught fire, but we do know that there are batteries inside. We do know that some of these batteries.
The thing with the batteries, you got to remember those lithium stuff like that. The only proper way to put them out is basically pick the vehicle up and put them in a pool of water for days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying
it's
days, like a week, and then they finally come out and be put out. And a lot of these electrical fires with these electric vehicles, they look like but then you lit the hood and everything.
Of what's in the smoke? There's burning around people, and your job is to get people as clear of that as you're told.
So that is one of the most important things that we're working on tonight. The fire personnel, law personnel, various county agencies are working closely with Vistra. They will be monitoring the air throughout the night and throughout the time that this fire burns. The important thing here is to try and determine if there is any danger to the public. If there is some type of danger, that information will be pushed out as quickly as possible to ensure the safety of people. At this particular time, the evacuations are out of an abundance of precaution. Because of those uncertainties, it was the best decision to make.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why we took those measures.
Commander Rosas, thank you. I know you got a busy night ahead, and we appreciate you taking the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so the smoke is the real concern with this fire. We've been talking about it.
We've been talking about
that smoke spewing toxins in the air. It could be dangerous. It could be very dangerous. Earlier this evening, we talked to Dr. Stephen Prager, an immunologist and allergy specialist with Salinas Valley Health.
All right, so really fast, because they're talking about really the smoke and everything that we have been talking about. So did it say if the fire was battery storage or natural gas? It's a battery storage. So the fire was actually the batteries itself, the ion batteries. That's what got caught on fire. They don't know exactly what happened. They don't know if it's whatever the cause of fire, and I'm sure they're not going to be able to find out because of how large it is. But I'm sure there's, unless they had some kind of outside of the facility cloud base, tracking system, and then they'll be able to maybe figure out this way, as in like where the fault went or something. I have no idea, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, those are the actual batteries that are burning. Are they worried about massive panic of millions of people? There's always a worry about the massive panic of people, but I don't think this time it's not going to be as massive panic, particularly because they were able to evacuate 98% within like few hours. That's actually pretty amazing,
Yeah, that is
right?
really good.
Yeah, and then the fact that people are actually complied with it, that is really amazing. I'm proud. Like, wow, go people, go residents. They're like, oh, I'm evacuating. I don't care. I'm evacuating, and I think it has to do, unfortunately, with what's happening down in LA right now, because everybody's on high alert, right?
The effects happen over days. Yeah, the effects are going to happen over days and weeks and months to come to see what it does.
Yeah, and then
It's like back in Hiroshima. They would drop those atomic bombs on Japan, and they're still feeling the effects. So with stuff like, I hate to say it, batteries, ion batteries, these things are not too healthy for us.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
go look at
so
the proper way to dispose of them. Go see what they tell you to do with them. You're going to be like, huh?
yeah, there is no proper way of there. We cannot recycle those batteries. We don't have the proper um, we don't have the proper technology, the proper way. We don't even know how to recycle those batteries. So I hope you guys like really take a look at it. So what could be potential long-term issues from this? The potential is the contamination of the water system, the effects on wildlife. So that would be long-term effects because of, especially concentrated around the site itself. And as we saw the like plume fallout, so I would highly recommend to kind of like hose off your car, make sure you don't get any kind of those particles. It's a hydrogen fluoride. It's a chemical, right? But it's that's the wildlife, your health. I'm not sure. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Prompted your concern. There was another incident at the Vistra plant in 2021. Guys, go ahead and find that statement we got from Vistra today. I want to put that up for a second. Your concern and your specific wording in SB 38 was actually requiring them, that there was not a requirement before?
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, so it was not a recycling plant. Yes, it's to store the power grid. I mean, to store the power. So that's what it is.
The plant for the public and the community, and how you would respond to these instances.
So,
I'm close to somebody that was on the planning commission, and when they considered this permit, she told me they talked about safety inside, and they never talked about safety outside.
Well, let's read you the statement we got from Vistra today as required, that they give some sort of response right away. We'll put that back up for you right now, Aaron.
It's not all that enlightening, I have to be honest. Our top priority is the safety of the community and our personnel, and Vistra deeply appreciates the continued assistance of our local emergency responders.
And there's a couple more paragraphs with that. We have not been given access to Vistra. Obviously, this was new territory when you wrote this bill. I mean, it's a new world now.
Totally, and the thing about it is that when that incident happened in September 2022, it was right at the time of some of the hottest days consecutive days in record in history, and we had just voted to extend Diablo Canyon because we didn't have enough energy. And battery storage in the 2 years since that happened has increased in the state way beyond the expectations that existed even on that date in September 2022. And so it makes this issue of safety even more.
We need to create a bingo card, seriously.
Going forward.
There's
Yeah. Considered.
You know, it's not even the end of the month. I've been on 5 fatal crashes. I've been on over 45 crashes, 4 fires, 3 pursuits, all in this month alone.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's we're only like 16 days in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you, like, this stuff does not stop. And I'll be honest, like I tell a lot of people, like Mother Earth is saying, "Hey, I want my planet back." It's doing everything in its power, saying, "Give it back."
So we're like the virus, right? So the white blood cells are attacking us.
I don't know.
Order will be lifted. They do not know yet, but they say they are taking the safety of residents.
What's up?
Oh, they had an earthquake up in, what was it, Washington, like a few days ago, a 7.0. It was triggering tsunami warnings down there.
Yeah, well, we had, but it was in December though. We had the tsunami warning here in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Dan, Aaron.
All right.
And then,
thank you.
And our
Appreciate it. Meantime, we do have some school closures to tell you about.
All schools in North Monterey County School District will be.
So what's next for 2025? The big one? We do not talk about the big one. We do not even say what the big one is, especially in the Bay Area. But I wouldn't be surprised if a meteorite decided to like grace us by.
Isn't that supposed to happen this year or next year when a meteor is supposed to come within, like, what is it?
I think it's this year.
Miles. Is it this year? I couldn't remember.
I think it's this year. But another thing is, like, last year we had some solar flares because nobody's talking about space weather, right?
Yes.
And then a lot of emergency management plans within like city, counties, or even the businesses, right? They do not incorporate space weather at all. And the space weather phenomenon is crazy because it can disrupt the communication system. It can disrupt like all kinds of stuff. And it can like wipe out, like the electrical grid. And the space weather happened, the electrical grid is wiped out, some sparks start flying, and there you go, there's your wildfire, right? And nobody's incorporating into that. It's crazy.
Have you noticed the increase the last year and a half with the solar flares?
Yeah,
I've seen here in the South. Like, I live in Missouri, and we're not supposed to see them near Arkansas, and we're not supposed to see them, and we've seen them.
So my bucket list was to see Aurora Borealis, right?
Yep.
I got to see Aurora Borealis from my window right here.
Yep.
It's nuts. It's the stuff that is happening. The latest, every year there's always something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the thing is, like, and we need to stop politicizing natural disasters, emergencies like that. We need to stop politicizing it and put all of these differences aside. Wow.
That was on my front porch.
Hold on a second. Show it again.
That was on my porch.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And look, I'm surrounded by city. And hold on, I'll show you another.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's the natural disasters, everything is like this is beautiful, by the way. Can you send those to me?
Yeah, I can.
Or toss it in the Discord. Discord.
I can do that.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. People just don't. I don't know. I think people get so blind by, and this is, I hate to say, partially the media's fault. Like, they don't really talk about stuff, and they don't really talk. I mean, yes, they talk about news, but they don't talk about like education.
Mm-hmm.
They don't educate with this stuff. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but when these flares were happening, like, I was having problems with my cell phone, and I still have issues with my cell phone. And little outages here and there throughout the year that I'm like, I can't find anything on the map, outage maps or nothing. Can't explain. I call them. They're like, no, we're not experiencing nothing.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see what these guys have to say.
Was going to be pushed more into Santa Cruz County. So eventually we did get some reaction from Santa Cruz County officials warning their residents to stay inside, keep your windows closed, doors closed, as buttoned up as you can to stay away from that smoke. Action News 8 reporter Brooke Kinnebrew is live in Watsonville with more on the Santa Cruz response.
Dan and Aaron, I'm at the outside of the Watsonville Fire Department. Yeah, as you said, Watsonville also sent out a notification to residents around 8:30 p.m. Again, number one, stay inside, close windows and doors, and then turn AC off because they were expecting winds, to carry in over here. And we've been talking about, we don't know what's in the air. Santa Cruz County also sent out that same memo, really reiterating for people to stay inside, close doors, close windows.
And so they're talking about the same thing. So this one right here, this comment, the yellow super volcano's overdue. Yeah, and that one, if it goes right, it's gonna wipe out a lot of land. Oh, thank you. It's gonna wipe out a lot of land, right? Mike Wolf, I really like this. Rule number 1, we do not talk about the big one. Rule number 2, we do not talk tale about the big one.
What's crazy is we do have one here in Missouri too, the New Madrid Fault. And it was a devastating one too. It's actually sent the Mississippi River flowing backwards for over a week.
Oh,
it was actually the deadliest.
I heard about that one. Yeah, I heard about that one.
It was the deadliest at that time, and I think it was the deadliest of the United States. So Missouri actually holds the record for that.
That's nuts. That is nuts. And
even though the big ones out there are like more prominent out there, but we get them too, and we've actually had a couple small ones, but they think it's fracking or whatever. But yeah, like you said though before, I wish people would take these disasters and don't be bringing politics in it. Just band together and help one another.
Just don't. Seriously, just don't. Like, this is the only time that you really, really need to set yourself apart and then just be just one. Because it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody, right?
It is. And you know, we may not, like for me, Missouri, we may not feel the effects right now, but we will later down the road.
You know, I was stationed in Missouri. I was stationed in Fort Leonard.
Leonard Wood? No way. I've got friends up there.
Yeah, I was Fort Lost in the Woods.
I'll be darned. Good old Nevada, Missouri.
Yeah. Okay, so incredible moment Gustan rips through Brisbane. Okay, so here, check this out. So I had one of I said incredible moment Gustando rips through Brisbane River during wild storms in Brisbane. Incredible vision shows Gustavo rip through Brisbane Rivers, dangerous storms, cell move over the city this afternoon. And that was, I'm going to share this tab really fast. So the vortex was very similar to a tornado, shocking onlookers. Those in the open were forced to seek shelter as it skimmed across Brisbane River. Whoa, that is nuts. You see, it's like a water-nado.
Water spout. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Okay, so hold on. I want to watch that video. Commercials.
See, I've chased a lot of tornadoes, but I've only seen 2 water spouts. One was in Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And the other one, it was Grand Lake in northeast Oklahoma.
Wow. Okay, so anyways, so here are the pictures. It's I can't seem to load the video. I'm sorry.
Hey, Batman, that's why we can never fear anything. We should always be aware, but we should never fear.
Yeah.
Because fear, they control. People
use
control. Fear controls people.
Okay, where arson started this. Okay, so that's another thing. Hold on a second. We don't know We don't know because the investigation is not over. Let's wait for the officials to actually come out with investigations and then tell us how it started because we can sit here speculate. This is I do like to brush up on some like aliens, a little bit of conspiracy theories and everything else around here and there, but I always stick to the truth. I always stick to what's, the professionals are doing, like what they're putting out there.
And what you
And
actually know.
yeah, exactly. So this is like this the whole channel is really I like to stick to the truth, fact checking, make sure that everybody knows like what really is happening instead of like, yeah, we speculate here once in a while. We put on like a little speculation hat, but we're sticking to what investigators are saying, what the fire departments are saying, what the emergency managers are saying, right? So this is because
Hey, that's my old meteorologist. I used to chase storms with her.
Oh,
That's Gina.
shit. I mean, oops.
That's Gina Diavecchio.
Ah, that's cool.
See, I'll show you. That was like one of my best friends. I'll show you a photo of us.
Yeah. If teams of people are starting these fires, could be. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm telling you, we can speculate, we can think about this, we can think about that, but it's always it's about the reality, it's about the truth. So as emergency manager, right? And
See? That's me and her.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. There it is. Ah, you're so popular. Look at you.
I used to chase for the I used to chase when she was here in Northwest Arkansas. I used to chase.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, that's so neat.
Yep. That's my girl right there. See?
Ah, there it is. That's the girl. Love
I'm gonna
it.
take
I
a
love
photo
it.
and send it to her and be like, "Hey, I'm watching you on TV."
You should.
That's so epic. I was like, "Hey, I know her." I haven't talked to her for a couple months, but we talked about she sells like cloud stuff, like cloud shoes, cloud hats, and everything. It's clouds.
Oh, that's so cute. I'll buy it. I'll buy a cloud mug because we're all about mugs and on this channel, mugs and t-shirts, right? So this one is I'm a ray of effing sunshine.
I got a Pepsi.
We are not advertised by Pepsi, and then Pepsi is not supporting this channel.
No.
But no, seriously. So what I was saying is, as emergency manager, right? You have to stay neutral. You cannot involve any politics in it, and then you have to stick to the truth, whatever's happening on the ground. Like and that's why I'm always all about like actually getting the realistic information from the first responders, what is happening on the ground, and then pushing it out to the public, and then fighting all this misinformation and not having the politics involved in it at all. So,
And that's funny because that's exactly what kicked me in the butt about going out there and photographing breaking news, because all these TV stations would do press releases or they would get brief statements from neighbors and stuff like that, but they never wanted to be on the ground when this stuff happened and see how it works and how it takes everybody to accomplish this one goal. It takes all these people to solve this fatal crash because of this and this and this and that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really critical people remember that, like, these men and women are trying their best and they really are working their tails off and they really are trying the best. I've been on the front lines with these guys, and I absolutely love being on the front lines with them, photographing them, telling their stories, but also telling the stories of what happens. They do work their butts off. We have a division called the Major Crash Team from the state of Missouri. They're highway patrolmen, and they come in, and that's all they do is investigate fatal crashes. And people don't understand anything of that.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing is because I worked with a lot of those guys and gals, right? And they love what they're doing.
Yes.
It's one of the things that doesn't pay well, but it's about a passion. It's about a passion.
Do they like what they see all the time? No.
No.
What they hear, smell, taste, no. But they do have a heart to serve, and that's because they love what they do.
Yeah, and then so when the guys are getting like thrashed upon, if they say like, oh, they're not doing this job, and they're not doing this job, they are literally out there doing their best that they can at whatever the resources they have, right? And sometimes the politics get involved, and they're like, oh, we have to cut this budget, we have to cut this budget, and I've seen it firsthand. I've seen fire departments, emergency management budgets cut firsthand. Another thing is I literally heard before, why do we even have this emergency operations center? We have never been activated. Yeah.
Yep,
It's like, well, okay, so why do you have a fire department if you never had a fire? It's an insurance policy. Why do you have a home insurance? Because you want to insure your house. Why do you want to support your local EOC? It's because you want to insure your house. Why do you want to support your local fire departments and police departments? Because you want to insure your house, right?
Yep.
Anyways, and it's I see it firsthand when budget cuts and everything. It's just,
and it really does jeopardize so much.
It really does.
People don't realize it jeopardizes a lot. Here in my area, we had a lot of officers that were extremely sad and depressed because their wages wasn't good and everybody was leaving. The turnaround rate was gone because nobody wanted to work here because the pay wasn't there.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Owl on the Prowls. That is awesome. Excellent live. Thank you.
My buddy photographed some of the hotshot crews with the prisoners on the line.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's another thing. Is like people don't really talk about it. The fact that prisoners, they're out there for like $5 a day. Actually like creating the fire lines, they're out there with their rakes
and you know how much they're making? They're making like $2 a day.
$5
$5 now?
It's $5.
It used to be like $2.
Yeah, it's $5.
$5 a day.
But see, that's another thing. They go through training, and that provides them experience, provides them, and then when a lot of these guys, what they do, they get out, and then I actually met couple of the ex-prisoners that went out there to fight the fires, and they became part of the local CERT teams.
Yep.
Yeah,
and some of them actually become hot shots too.
Yeah,
they hot shots and
they go into the fire departments because they get all the certifications, they get their hazmat certifications, and then they become to like really loving it. And we need people in the first responder realm, and we need emergency managers, and we need firefighters and hazmat, especially hazmat. That's lacking. A lot of
hazmat is lacking.
Yeah.
But the also biggest thing I can tell you guys too is thank your dispatchers, because they're the first ones that take that.
Yes.
Love
thank
on
you,
those
dispatchers. Definitely thank you, dispatchers.
Love on them because they don't get no credit hardly at all. They hear so much.
I know.
When I got to go in and photograph, when I got to go in and photograph the dispatchers, the calls that I heard were like, man, I couldn't imagine. But I'm the guy that goes out there and photograph these calls that they're dispatching. But a lot of these are people that are struggling mentally, unaliving moments. Just very, very, very. It's just like, wow, how they try to talk somebody down and it doesn't work, and they end up doing something, and that person has to live with that now. That's a lot of guilt.
Yeah, it's yeah. Also, please do not spread like any misinformation anywhere, and the firefighters are not out there to burn down the buildings. The firefighters out there to mitigate the situation as much as they can, like especially with this fire. The fires in LA, I know some people say like, oh, well, we saw the firefighters letting this one building burn down, or like this one house burn down while they try to save like some other person's house. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they pick and choose, because they know which house can be saved and which one cannot. So they're trying to mitigate, well, for the fire to explode to any other houses. Sometimes they will hose down the neighboring houses instead of like the one that's actually on fire.
And that's a really good point, because Okay, never mind. It's just a back pain call. I thought they said crash. I thought I was going to have to go for a second, but no. You're spot on about with that stuff because, like I've been on Facebook a lot lately and seeing these comments. They're not putting any water on this house. They're not putting anything out. Guys, resources are scarce out there right now. Like they are so scarce. Some of these guys have been fighting the fire since it's happened, since day one. Yep. They haven't seen their families for over a week and a half now because they've been on that line. They haven't ate nothing but besides a handful of crackers and some water. I mean, these guys are busted. It's worst case scenario. There's lack of water, lack of resources. That's why they can't get it all. And I've seen in the comments that they were saying they were burning their buildings down or they're burning stuff down. Here's the thing. There is ways to fight fire with fire too, if you know how to understand it. They can dig lines all day long, but when you're getting 70, 80, 100 mile an hour winds, those embers can carry for miles and then bam, and they kindle. But you can go in front of that line and you burn that little stretch off. Bam.
Yeah. But hey, you got another storm chaser here.
Hey, welcome on, Al the Prowl. What's up, Al the Prowl?
He's been a fan of this channel for quite a while. He's been sticking around for the past 3 years or so. It's amazing. It's amazing, nice. Like to see people like keep coming back and being in the chat and supporting this channel. So, speaking of supporting the channel, so don't forget to hit the like button. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We have about 500 viewers on Twitch right now. I mean on Twitch, sorry, on X. And so if you are watching on X, if you want to chat, please come on down to our YouTube channel. We have like a little live chat going, so you're welcome to the family. And if you don't like YouTube, feel free to go chat on Twitch because I'm streaming on Twitch as well. So Twitch, YouTube, and X. This live stream is on
Twitch. Hi, Twitch.
Yeah. So I'm streaming on 3 different platforms for this one.
I was streaming a lot on TikTok, and I was doing really good on TikTok for a while, but I noticed that nobody supported LEO on there. And I really didn't like that. So I just upload my content on there just to show who's in custody and all that kind of stuff for around here. But
yeah.
I go on there to a certain few because there is some good people that I've met. And there is a good group of solid ones that come in and we talk about life issues and, how's the home life? Are you struggling mentally? Let's talk about it. That kind of thing. Mental health is super big.
Yeah. We talk mental health in here as well. I go take the crowd, to the beach sometimes. I go do little mental health talk walks and everything. So
it's good to have that.
We have a pretty decent balance in here, but majority of the channel is geared towards getting news like this out there. I do concentrate on some Ukrainian-Russia war because I'm Ukrainian myself. And so that's where we kind of.
Is the governor still the same guy over there? Is the governor still the same guy over there?
The president? Which one? Ukraine or Russia? Because the both is. Yeah, Zelensky.
Yes,
still
I like
there,
him.
yes.
I would love to meet him one day. He seems like a badass.
I met Zelensky.
Have you really?
I have.
Was he nice in person?
Oh yeah, he was really nice. He's short. He's super short.
That's what I've heard, that he's just real short.
Yeah, no, he's really nice. I met him back in 2021. He actually flew to California, and I was part of the organizing the event when he flew in, because state of California has this thing is state of California National Guard actually. By the way, Laura, yes, we need more men normalizing mental health. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Mental health is such a good thing.
Yeah. So state of California National Guard has this program. The name is Rapid Trident. And Rapid Trident is the program that was helping out Ukraine because they were partnering with Ukraine to build up their National Guard, Ukrainian National Guard. and that program started it started early 2000s, but it got revamped in 2015 after the Crimean War in 2014. So it got revamped, and I was part of the Rapid Trident program, and just kind of helping out like with some translations. I was teaching some Seaburn classes that came by rad nuclear classes to Ukrainian soldiers in Ukraine. That was really, really, really interesting. And to see like the whole progression of the rise in their National Guard, and then how they're able to utilize the military, how they're able to utilize the National Guard people that we actually trained in Ukraine right now during this war is fantastic.
That is
Also, Zelensky said he is sending 150 firefighters to fight the LA fires to help out with to offset the strength that our fire departments are observing right now.
That is amazing. See, I really like the guy because he's such a, and this is gonna sound bad, but I like it because he's like a plain man. Does that make sense? Like he knows how people feel and how people struggle, and he's just a man. He's just he's not he's not look at me. He's just a man. He's like, give me this rifle, let's go. Give me this, give me whatever I need, and let's go. Let's make this happen. He's not afraid to try to get stuff done, and he's always wanting to do better with his country, which that to me is one of the best things ever. I would like to meet the guy. Like when I've seen him on TV, I'm like, this guy's a badass.
Yeah. This comment right here.
Yes.
I love the fact it's like, I don't need the ride. I need ammo. It's like, I don't need a ride outside like to get out of the country. I need ammo to fight for the country. I love it.
That means it shows you that he loves his country. He loves his people. I'm not gonna lie, the photographers though that are over there right now capturing all that stuff. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
Hey, there's this group. There's a veterans group. I think it's they have a pretty big channel, and then they actually have like things. So they did a documentary about U.S. military veterans fighting in Ukraine, right? I said veterans, the one that actually got out of military, and then they didn't know what to do. They felt like there's no purpose. They felt like there's a wasted skill that they have gained in the military during Iraq and Afghanistan war, and they just went out there and volunteered to fight for Ukraine. And there's a documentary that's coming out. I'm actually going to do a live about the documentary, and then we might be able to watch it on a Discord, because sometimes we watch movies and documentaries on a Discord. So I'll probably be able to do that. But yeah, it's about the U.S. veterans are fighting in Ukraine, which is absolutely amazing. These guys are nuts. I would go if I had a chance. I wanted to go to fight, to pick up arms again myself, and then just be out there. But sometimes, yeah.
I think it's incredible.
Okay.
I love it.
No, Ukrainians are not losing this war. I always believe in Ukrainians are not going to lose this war.
They're some of the strongest people I've ever seen.
Exactly.
They love the country just like Israel does. These small countries that nobody believes in, they're the most powerful because they believe in each other and their people. And that to me make win or lose,
Yeah. So Ron, did the fire spread to the mosque plant, or did it start? It started at the plant. It started at the plant, and ion batteries got caught on fire, and that's what's happening right now. It looks like the flames are actually dying down, but I also think it's older footage as well. But yeah, it started at the plant.
Yes, I followed her since I won't mention who. I actually followed her after the incident, and I really liked her content since. So, and then I met her at Discord of all places. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so have you like been following any Ukrainian news or anything?
I have. I ever so often I try to follow up with it as much as I can.
I think yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot, but I might do a live stream to talk about it, just like specifically about Ukraine, because right now there's a couple of videos that just recently got released by Ukrainian soldiers, or Ukrainian intelligence soldiers, and it's about the North Korean guys, because like quite few of them got captured and then they were getting interviewed, and the North Korean guys are saying that they didn't even know they were going to war. They thought they were just going for a training. They didn't even know that they're in Ukraine. They
That's
just
terrifying.
Yeah, they just got loaded up and then they thought they're going for a training, and they got dumped in Russia and then got deployed to Ukraine. They didn't even know where they were. And then this one guy, they asked him, was like, well, what do you want to do after this? He said, I want to stay in Ukraine.
Yeah, I guarantee I would want to, because they're very similar to the States with like rights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like they're very similar. But yeah, I would too. I would not want to be in Korea. No way. Don't get me wrong, I love the Korean people, but I would not want to be in that one area of Korea. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Some Aussies went over to fight too. One got captured though. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, there's like we had Canadian soldiers out there, we had Polish soldiers, we had not actual soldiers, but the ex-military, like the ones that served, or even people just who didn't even serve, they just wanted to volunteer. And so you create like Ukrainian military created this international brigade in a way, right? Where they set up a website, you can go volunteer, which is really, really neat. So the fact that people just truly wanted to go out there and help.
That's
So
truly what we should. I think we should learn a lot from them. We could use like I was saying about earlier, throw the politics aside, throw all the differences aside, and let's unite. Let's help each other, love on another. Let's help each other and make this world a better place. By helping and encouraging. And when we're throwing out just BS, it doesn't get anywhere. But when you take that BS and you just throw it to the side and hey, let's go for a walk and let's talk about your problems. It's
yeah.
important.
Pigeon. It's funny. It's Anime, your local disaster management pro. It's your friendly neighborhood emergency manager right over here.
And I'm just a first responder photographer. Whoop whoop.
Yay. Yeah, we should I want to definitely have a separate live to talk about what do you do on your channel. Here, let me put your channel up on the board. But yeah, like no, really, like what do you do? How you do some storm chases or any kind of stuff. So we'll talk. We'll have a separate live just for you and to
Yeah,
advertise
let's definitely
you
make it
and
happen. And
have a
keep up the good
community.
work. I know you've had a rough road on this app because of people and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, just keep fighting the good fight.
In reality, hold on a second. When life gives you lemons, throw them at trolls, okay?
Yes. My thing is, like, I tell a lot of people on my news page is full of drama all the time. And I'm always like, guys, let the haters motivate you. Let them motivate you because they teach you how not to be, and I take everything always as a lesson to be learned. I've got a lot of haters, but I also got a lot of people that love what I do and love to see what I'm doing and educating and try to bring people together. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is helping and encouraging and loving and being there and really truly encouraging this world. Let's get together and let's make it better. And if like I tell people, it starts with you, it starts with me, and it starts with people in the chat. Let's let it happen. It can happen. I believe in people. I believe we can make differences. So like I said, that's why I followed you, because I really liked what you stood for. I liked how. Oh
yeah. You good over there? You're gonna go.
No, just somebody It's just somebody out of wrong hotel room. They jiggled the handle and they left. They thought it was going to be a burglary in progress, but it's not.
Yeah. Okay, so if there is any lesson learned from Ukrainian
Thank you,
history,
everybody.
is not give up nuclear weapons. Yeah, that you know they shouldn't have given them up, but you know what? You never knew what was gonna happen. Nobody thought that Russia's gonna invade Ukraine. You know, it's so. Anyways, I think the latest updates really it's kind of similar. I haven't heard anything. I am getting really tired myself.
And I hate to say this, being the batteries, like I said earlier, folks, this fire is going to be burning for days.
Yeah.
It's a whole like a car fire with lithium batteries. It takes at least a week of them being fully submerged to be put out. So you may be able to put them out with your nozzles for temporary, but the moment you load it on that tow truck and you drive it 5 miles to the tow lot, it's still going to be burning, and it could catch fire again, ignite, and it's continuing to burn. You got to fully submerge this stuff and really smother it. So.
And then this smoke, this right here, this hazmat, the plume modeling. Oh my god,
friendly neighborhood emergency manager. I love that.
Yeah, I'm your friendly neighborhood emergency manager.
YouTube edition, right?
Yeah. Yay. I got credentials and I can prove it.
We need a good one. You want to come out to my area?
Do they do remote work?
I don't even know what they do because I haven't seen them on any kind of scenes since the old one passed away. I've not seen them out and about at all.
So I have I actually do have my own business. It's manageconsulting.com. It's manage emergency oh shoot. Oh my god. I'm seriously tired. I think I've been streaming way too long. So it's basically I provide like different consulting for emergency management, for like hazmat response. What I do is I help to tailor different plans, like evacuation plans, policies, procedures, all that whole 9 yards. So that's what my business been lately about, and I kind of fell off of the YouTube for quite a while because of that, because I had like a couple contracts here and there. I couldn't particularly like stick to the YouTube, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back slowly, but the first time I came back a few days ago, well, when the LA fire started, I was like, yeah, today is the day I'm coming back to YouTube live streaming, right? And I was like, let's cover this fire that's going on in LA. Yeah, we ended up streaming for 6 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then this one right here, we ended up yeah, you know what? So 5 hours now. I've been streaming for 5 hours. This is my second live stream. My first one was like about 3. So yeah.
You're dedicated.
Side note, my beer is on the way. Yay me. Where's my beer? I need a beer. I need some glass of whiskey or something.
Out Pepsi.
Oh, okay. So hold on a second. This one right here. Where is the list of fires containment percentage? I just got an update actually. Let me pull that up really fast. So there's an update for percentage. That's been
So how do you say your name? Is it Zanime?
Yeah, Zanime. Perfect. Okay. Or Xana. Just call me Xana. It's fine.
Xana?
Yeah, but my full name is Anastasia. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's Anastasia Manage. That's why Manage Consulting, right?
Okay.
And it's pretty like it's out there. My whole name is out there, so I'm not like doxing myself or anything.
I'm one of them people. I don't care. Let them come at me. I don't care.
already like 3 years ago, I was like, I got super doxed and whatever. But
and that's the thing is like once you find your group, you'll find your group. But that's why I like this stuff. What I'm doing on here. This is like my very first time ever going live with somebody else. So, and I like had no idea I could do it on my computer. That's why I texted her. I was like, can I do this on my computer?
Yes. You go live on your channel, right?
Yes. I don't know actually. No, because it says I have to log in, so I guess it didn't.
No, I mean like you go live on your YouTube sometimes, or you just post videos.
once in a while I will. It's mainly to show kind of, and mainly I use it to inspire people on the lives and get people to dream and let them, be who you are. I don't really show a lot of the scenes like I was telling you about earlier because I was going to a dump truck that got hit by a train and there was a guy that died, and I heard about it halfway, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to cut that. Nobody needs to find out on YouTube. So
yeah, no, you'll get suspended for that sometimes too. Yep. So yeah, you won't don't do that, because the decency of the humanity still needs to be out there. Let's see. I just seen the latest updates. Okay, here you are.
I did miss a pursuit tonight that I was kind of sad about.
Uh-oh.
And it was funny because I knew the two names that they arrested because they've been in trouble like a million times.
Okay, so Palisades Fire is 27% contained. Eaton Fire is 55% contained. Hearst Fire is basically final, it's 100%, and then 85% is auto fire. So that's the latest updates. Yeah. But anyway, so I think I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna gather some updates about this. I'll post it on my community page. But I honestly think this is the time for me to go to bed. And it's literally playing on a repeat. It's midnight here. Kind of funny.
It's 2 a.m. here.
But hey, so I'm gonna end the live stream. Stick around after I end the live stream, because there's gonna be a little video playing and stuff.
Okay.
For 2 minutes. I just want to chit chat for 2 minutes, and so that way we can plan something out to have you and talk about your channel and talk about what you do, and then we can showcase some of your videos if you like as well. So
sounds good. Yeah, and I appreciate that. And if I can tell you guys anything else, just continue to be who you are, be loved, love yourself, go out there, spread love and kindness, keep being amazing, keep inspiring the world. Examine me.
Xana, just Xana.
Xana, there we go. Xana the banana.
Xana the banana. I love it. Yeah,
I appreciate you. Just keep being awesome, though. I appreciate you letting me be up here tonight. Just stay awesome. Stay aware. If you ever need anything else, let me know. I'm not the smartest crown in the box. I actually do not have any kind of education at all. I was one that liked to cause trouble when I was a kid, and I just wanted to do better with my life. And I looked in the mirror and changed my ways, and now I'm photographing the ones that used to arrest me, so I love it. I love that people can change and do better. And if I can encourage any of you guys watching, go be you, do you, and make the best of it. Mm-hmm. Continue to grow and mature every day. Love on one another and help each other. But I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So you guys, so Billy's on the backstage right now. But hey, you know what? Thank you so much for sticking around here. I hope I was able to provide some decent information, and kind of we were just keeping an eye on it, on everything what was happening with the fire. And so I'll get some updates tomorrow. I'll post it in my community tab. And yeah. Mahalo, thanks for joining us tonight in my live stream. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Booyah! Right. See, look, just as Jane say, he has a lot of wisdom. He does. That's another reason. I want him back on my channel. I want to make sure that he his message gets passed along as well. So it's pretty interesting. Okay. So your friendly neighborhood emergency manager is here. And then remember, hold on a second, let me stop sharing all of this. So remember, love yourself, be yourself, stay true to yourself. And Xana is out. Peace.